Hello there. I hope you're doing well today. We are going to start today's painting a little differently than what I normally do, which is we are doing the wet on dry technique to start with. Oftentimes I put water on my paper first and then add the color, but this time we're doing the paint on dry paper. And you can see I just dropped in some orange with a wonky shape. We're doing some fun folk art inspired trees today. Folk art, Scandinavian art, naive art, they're all kind of similar in my mind. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I'm just adding that, and I'm adding some more orange just right on top of the wet orange. And now I'm adding some red on top of that wet orange as well, and just letting those colors blend together as they will. Just giving some variety there. And you can see I am not trying to be exact with my lines. I'm squiggling them, I'm dabbing them, and I just love the effect that that gives. And then I'm going to come in with some green, also wet on dry, and just going to put in kind of a pine tree is what I'm going to call it. And doing similarly to what I did before, I'm going to add another color on top of that. And you guys can do any shapes you want. This is just a super fun painting. I'm coming in with some blue now, kind of a turquoise blue. I'll show you what I've got in my palette over here. It's just a beautiful color that I love it. You could start with that color too. You can have blue trees, you can have pink trees, you can have purple trees, whatever colors you'd like. But I'm just letting that blue and green play together and waiting to see what effect that's going to have until I like it. And I do like it. I like the way this final color of the pine tree, as we're calling it, I like the way that it looks. I was going to leave that kind of light part on the right side there, but just decided to fill it all in with some blue and just give it a nice deep rich color. And now that those two are completely dry, I'm going to come in with some yellow ochre and just fill in that middle part. You could make that a pointy tree, you can make it whatever you want. I'm just going to kind of go along the curves of that orange shape and make this another wonky shape in the middle. We're obviously not doing any realism here, but that's the fun of it for me. And we're going to fill in our middle tree with the yellow ochre. And again, because these other two trees are dry, it's okay if they touch a little bit. They're not going to bleed together. You might see a little overlapping color, and that's okay. But yeah, this is where I'm having that weird angle because I'm filming. If you're not filming, you can just move your paper so that you don't have awkward positions for your hand. Okay, fill in that middle tree until you like what you see. And this one I'm just leaving the yellow ochre by itself. You can add other colors to it, obviously, if you'd like to blend. Just use your imagination and have fun. You may have noticed I'm kind of going for a fall theme here because aren't we ready for fall? I am. We've had some pretty nice weather lately, and I'm grateful for that. All right, these are all completely dry, and I'm coming in with this Pigma graphic pen. You can use a Sharpie. Really, your paint is dry, so you can pretty much use whatever you want on top. If you have any questions or hesitation of, oh, I don't know if this is going to work, just paint a little watercolor on some scratch paper and let it dry, and then test out whatever pen or marker you're thinking about using. Okay, you can see I just did a nice squiggly trunk for this one. I didn't put much thought into it. I'm just drawing until it makes me happy. And these branches are maybe more traditional, if you want to say. I don't know. But just drawing these branches in, and I'm going to leave these pretty minimal. We're not doing a bunch of branches like you might picture are inside of a tree, but we're going to leave that one just as is. I like the simplicity of it. Okay, maybe just zhuzh it a little bit right here. Yeah, and the great thing about just working with this is you can come back, you can walk away and come back an hour later and go, I actually want to fill that tree with branches. It's all good. This middle tree is going to be a little less traditional. branches. And I'm just doing squiggly lines. My paper moved a little, but I kind of like how it went even extra wonky on me. One thing I learned by doing this is I'm a very slow colorer, so I'm going to speed this up because I'm very careful not to go outside the lines. But just fill in your trunk, make it as thick or as thin as you'd like. And this one you'll see for the branches, I decided to just do some squiggly horizontal lines throughout this yellow tree. And later on, I'm going to add some more things. Actually, I'm going to add some more things to all of them. But all right, coming on over to the pine. We're just going to draw in the trunk here. Back to what I was saying about folk art versus Scandinavian art versus naive art. I love the definition of naive. This is what it says. It says, of or denoting art produced in a straightforward style that deliberately rejects sophisticated artistic techniques and has a bold directness resembling a child's work, typically in bright colors with little or no perspective. Look at me. That is exactly what I'm doing. So I know maybe naive has a negative connotation in your mind, but I just find it charming, especially when it comes to art. And you guys, you can leave it right here and be done. You can be like, you know what? Minimalism, that's what I'm going for. But I decided to add some more details to each of the trees. And with this first one, I'm just coming in and doing, again, maybe more traditional leaf shapes and just putting those in. I realized I'm very slow at this, so I sped it up. And for our pine tree, I'm just going to do simple little dots. I'm just kind of placing a dot and then going across the branch and putting another dot right across from it. You know, I'm a person that likes to do art quickly. It kind of hurts my brain when people say, oh, yeah, I should be done with this piece in like a few days or weeks even. And I'm like, I can't do that. I want like half-hour tops. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that was fun. So dots on that tree, leaves on the first tree, and now I've decided for the middle tree I want to put some white gel pen, but for what I decided I want to do, I want to make my branches a little bit thicker. So I'm coming back in with my pen, my graphic pen, and I'm just going to thicken up these branches and the trunk a little bit towards the top because my white gel pen, I want the black to be the background of the white gel pen, not the yellow. So just thickening up those branches and maybe adding even some more squiggle for funsies. I really hope you guys will give this a try. I wish I had some sort of way to see your artwork. I know a couple of you post it on your channel when you do some of my pieces, which I love so much, particularly thinking about Danielle and Tracy and S. You guys have all posted when you've tried my artwork, and I just love it so much. Anyway, if you do try it, I want to see it somehow. I don't know how, but just be in touch. All right, now that my black ink is dry after I thickened up the branches and trunk, I'm just going in with my white gel pen and doing little dots on each of the branches. And you can see I'm trying to go over because they're not quite as bright as I'd like them to be, but you'll see I'm going to go over all of them again. And I'll speed this up though, because you probably don't need to see me do a billion little dots. But just to tell you, again, this took way longer than I thought, but I ended up enjoying it. It was just something you didn't really have to think too hard about. And I love it. And you can see as I'm going over them a second time, the contrast is more apparent. And I just love how it brightens it up and love the whimsy of this piece. And I hope you do too. What do you think? What would you do differently? I want to hear. I want to hear if you're doing like different colors or shapes and whatnot. Go ahead, sign your artwork and enjoy your piece. I mean, this is a really fun little fall decoration. It really could be. So I hope you give it a try. If you liked this, please give me that coveted thumbs up for my to support my channel, and subscribe if you'd like to see more fun and easy watercolor tutorials. See you in the next video. Take care.